Hey guys, what's up? I'm here again to our daily journal, my daily journal, MDJ. So I'm today's the 20th day of the series. I want to say welcome if it's first um, the first day that you are here. If isn't, be welcome in the same way. So i- first of all, I just want to say that it's Easter, so happy Easter to you guys. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly because I'm not used to the name in English. So happy Easter. And well, in today's video, I just want to talk about language, learn, and more specifically about Sherlock Holmes books. So what I'm doing to improve my language right now. So be right there. So let's get started. Well, I I'm thinking about this a lot. I think about language learning and learn process of language learn process in general to be more precise. But I'm thinking about uh, this topic language learning, and I'm really trying to like see better patterns and try to properly study it because I'm I kind of already had like some some contact with the language, and I was in English more specifically. I had contact in the language since a while, and I was having this contact, but I feel that I wasn't properly evolving my language and properly improving it. So I want my desire was to define what I should follow it and how I should approach my language learning process. Now I'm starting to have some thoughts about language and how I should approach them to be more joyful for me and be more mindful in language learning in general, because you have to see and choose a way to learn the language that fits for you, right? I cannot say to you what you should do to learn a language. That's a point that a lot of people like getting mistake, because this this is not like a science. It's not like and even the science by itself. But what I mean is not objectively. I mean, it's not objective. It's not a very precise thing. You should approach the language in the way that you feel that you will keep sticking and like um, keep learn the language through time. So in the start, you will not have very good knowledge in the language because you are starting now. Even if it's like a language that is close to the one that you are already know, you will have some some challenge to fight over, and some things that you will do and that you will try to keep doing that will like sharp how your language learning process will be, because in the future you will like see the fruits of your start. But basically, uh, language learning is it is a thing that with time you will start to get in some knowledge and some domain. You shall not like actually you will not be like you can't just look what someone says and just try to create some thought based just on that thing. If you are just looking for tips and advices and not put in practice them, and not properly try to study in your own style, you will not be able to really grasp what language learn means and what language learns guides to, like leads to. Because language learn, a part of the language learn, that there is the fact that you need to properly do the language learn and the activities to be proficient in that language. The main point is, for language learn, you should approach by yourself and see what fits to you and what you don't want to do it. Because in the end of the day, you are the one that is learn the language. Like I'm not learn the language by you. Some random guy in the internet will not learn the language by you. So it's you and only you that will be able to say what fits to you and what is the thing that you do and really works. Because if you didn't do that, you will just follow someone's advice, and sometimes you will like just be sad or be inconstant by, because you need to study by yourself. You need to find yourself in the language. I actually saw a video in here in the internet, in the YouTube, about extensive X versus intensive reading, and how we should approach them, and how these like those words complemented each other, and how those words can be useful to your language learning routine and language learning process. This video was very good for me indeed. I saw and I think, oh, that's a pretty good video. If I remember, I will put in the description here or in the card, so you will be able to see it. But what I mean is that the video was very good and explained very well what is extensive and intensive, um, like, or reading, writing, everything. The difference between extensive and intensive in the context of language learning. What I mean is that if you look in this concepts, throughout this concept, you will formulate some idea in your mind and trying to like use the best of two words. It is indeed what will guide you to language learning, and what will guide you to learn it. Because like if you need to do an intensive something, right? You need to do intensive reading, intensive listening, intensive speaking or writing. Because if you didn't do that, you will be just passively consume the language. That could work, yes, could work indeed for you, could like guide you to language, to a proficient, to be proficient in the language, could work. But it's not, it's not right though. It's like if you are just consuming it's, and like if you are just consuming for in the start, if you are a beginner, that could be useful in somehow, just trying to approach in a very calm and tranquil way. Even though for me, just a passive consuming and just a passive approach is not very useful to properly learn the language. So this just passive could work. But what will make you properly learn the language is what you are doing by intensively, and what you are doing with purpose of getting better in the language. So I will give myself as example. I watch a lot of videos in YouTube, and that's my that's like extensive listening to it, right? I don't pay attention to each word individually, but I'm trying to approach also in an intensive way, when I start to I choose a video and try to pay a real attention for it and try to understand each word and try to understand each grammar concept and talk with ChatGPT or other AI to really get knowledge of that video. I can explain more after. I'm starting to evolve in some like language learning routine by myself, obviously with like solving a lot of videos and looking for inspirations. But what I mean by myself is that what is very useful for me and what is really like what makes me really learn the language. So I will talk more about this later. But getting back into extensive versus intensive reading and skills in general, the four core skills: speaking, listen, writing, and um, reading. So yeah, I will. About reading, I just want to share that I'm start to like trying to do extensive reading. I already do intensive reading that I want to. My desire is to like really understand the language, and I'm using a grammar book, not a very traditional grammar book with exercises and very boring. I'm using a book that I really like it and that approach grammar in a very joyful way. So that book, I'm using it, so I'm using as intensive reading because I'm trying to really understand what the book says in a very precise way. And the book is about language, about grammar, about English grammar. So when I'm doing like the very with a lot of attention to that book, I'm already learn about the language itself because it's a grammar book. So besides that, I look up to each word and try to understand them by context and try to search it, try to talk with AI, and try to do a lot of things to understand each word and each grammar concept and what the book is saying to me, really grasp it, the concept, and summarize it and write things about it. So this is my intensive reading. But now I'm trying to complement this with my extensive reading, that is reading books in general. And the book that I started with is I Study in Scarlet by Conan Doyle. Is the first book of Sherlock Holmes series, and I really like this book. I really love it because I read it in Portuguese, the Portuguese version. Actually, I read it all Sherlock Holmes books in Portuguese version. Let me grab. You can see like I have the box right here with all books, and I already read all of this and all the Sherlock Holmes stories. And bro, I really like the series. So I'm starting now to read in English, so I will be able to understand more about the language by itself. And I'm doing the extensive reading, so I'm trying to reading as much as I can, not focusing on the words and not focusing on grammar, just to have fun and just to be in contact with the language. Read some chapters by each day and really try to do without a pressure, because Sherlock books is a thing that I really enjoy it, and I already read it in Portuguese. So read it in English is very helpful also because it's like the idea of comprehensible input, that I'm consuming content about about a thing that I already know. So I already did the reading of all Sherlock's book. So when I'm trying to read this in English, I already know kind of the history, the story. But actually, I am not gonna lie, I forgot the story by itself, like the plot. I forgot everything because my mind just is um, not very good to specific things. And even though I can remember very well like the more abstract things and the more uh, broader things, I can't remember specific time details. So this story in English is also very new to me because I forgot what I read. So I'm remember like I'm reading and I'm remembering what I read before, but this is kind of new for me. It's like it's like reading for the first time because I forgot everything. And I'm reading this in English is very good for me indeed because I'm trying to approach the language by extensive reading. So I'm having contact with some words, and the version that I choose of Sherlock stories was very old, so that helped me to have a contact with more formal and old-fashioned language that is a part of the language that I really appreciate it, and I'm trying to incorporate in somehow in my active vocabulary. So having this contact with the language in those books help you to first of all summarize all vocabulary that you are already having had, understand more words by context, understand more words by vocabulary, and without needs do frequently search and research about what you are reading. So that's the point, you know. Extensive reading, for me at least, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed just to appreciate the reading by itself. The difference for me by for extensive reading than the intensive read, because the extensive one, you are just like reading the story without pauses so much and without stop so much, because you are just having fun and just like trying to follow a flow and understand the story by itself, even though if you can't grab some words, you learn them by context, and you are trying to read as much as you can. And it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be a thing that you already want to read. Otherwise, conversely, like the intensive reading, it's more focused on the language itself and not in the context, in the content. Because in the intensive reading, your main goal is to first understand more grammar concepts through immersion and through seeing by them, do search and research to understand more about the language and some words and grow up your vocabulary. And in the extensive reading, even though you still having these things, you it's not your main goal. So I'm trying to incorporate my reading, my extensive reading in the language learning process. To do so, I choose Conan Doyle stories and Sherlock Holmes series because I really love it. Like the detective, just looking up for a case and trying to discover the truth. We can discuss this later and how this is very good and very fun. But I basically start to do this extensive reading for my language learning routine, kind of routine. I don't have strict schedule, but I'm trying to organize. So this is what my extensive reading actually currently is head into, and it's been really fun and enjoyable that I'm reading Sherlock series that I already did and I love it in in English. I'm doing so in English, so I'm trying to do this extensive reading. My plan and my goal is like read all books of Sherlock in English, and after that, like change for another author, because I want to like read more about English authors, because it's my main goal. It's one of my goals with the language is that after some while I could be like I could have the skills that is necessarily to do a very good reading. So that's what I want to say. This video this video is very big indeed, and I'm sorry for that. But I hope that I could give you some advice on how to learn the language and how you should approach it, and like really give to more broader view about language learn. I still by here. See you tomorrow probably, and I hope you are doing great. Leave a comment down below what you think about this video, and how you think about intensive versus intensive reading, and comment what you think about it. Let's discuss. So I'll see you tomorrow. I hope that you are doing great. Bye.